Louis Pasteur is one of the most important founders of medical microbiology. He discovered that microorganisms caused fermentation and disease. He originated the process of pasteurization and developed vaccines against anthrax and rabies. The germ theory of disease is the single most important contribution by the science of microbiology to the general welfare of the world's people, and perhaps even the single most important contribution of any modern scientific discipline. Pasteur demonstrated that microorganisms are present in air, but not created by air. This is critical in refuting the concept of spontaneous generation and for the development of the germ theory of disease.
Welcome to It's Science Time! Today we're going to talk about Louis Pasteur and his development of the germ theory and how it affects our society today. Today I want to inform everybody on how important this theory is and also to see exactly how clean our society really is. Let's all give a round of applause to our host, Melissa!
Please welcome our two guest scientists, Camilla and Victoria. Welcome, ladies.
Hi! Thanks for having us.
Hi, Victoria. Hi, Camilla.
Hello, I'm happy to be here. Okay, as you guys know, our topic today is Louis Pasteur and his germ theory. And you might recognize his name for something you see daily, and that's milk, more specifically pasteurized milk. And without his contributions, you would have to buy milk daily because it would spoil.
Yay, longer lasting milk!
Before the development of the germ theory, people believed that disease was punishment for a person's evil behavior and that epidemics were caused by miasmas, which are poisonous gases created by planetary movements. Mentioned earlier, spontaneous generation was a theory accepted before Pasteur came up with the germ theory, and that theory stated that disease originated from the air, and even more ridiculous, people believed that they could originate from a pile of rags, as seen before us. The use of antibiotics have become a major issue in society, and due to the widespread use of them, they have the medical community on their toes about developing more antibiotics. Because of this, epidemics have dramatically decreased over time.
As you can see on the graph before us, epidemics have dramatically decreased since 1900 after a spike during World War I.
Although antibiotics have lowered mortality rates, they have given rise to antibiotic-resistant bacteria because bacteria are constantly modifying themselves through evolution. An example of this is the penicillin vaccine. A year after penicillin was developed, the antibiotic was virtually useless because there was overuse and the bacteria became resistant to it.
This graph shows that as antibiotic use increases, bacterial resistance to penicillin increases as well.
Interesting. We will now be asking the audience a few questions about their personal hygiene. How many of you wash your hands every time after you use the restroom? All right, that's a good show of hands.
As you can see, almost everyone did raise their hands, but statistically, when people answer, 99% of them say they do, when in actuality, 12% are the ones that wash their hands.
Wow. Well, how do you think today's society is affected by the germ theory?
Let's ask the audience.
Well, in the medical field, doctors and nurses have many health procedures in which they have to complete before beginning any task. Without the germ theory, patients would have a more likely chance to contract an infection, and which would cause them to go into shock and eventually die without treatment.
That's a valid point in a medical aspect. What about you?
I think everyone's afraid of germs, and that's why we kind of stay away from people who seem to be even a little bit ill.
That's true. And how about you?
I think learning about the germ theory has made us more aware of everything we do and everything we touch. Although that can be a good thing, but as a society, it's just made us into a bunch of clean freaks who care way too much about germs.
Yes, you're correct. Learning about the germ theory has made our society into a bunch of clean freaks.
We even have a day dedicated to keeping clean called National Hand Washing Day.
Well, that's the end of our show. Thank you for joining us today. Be sure to tune in next week for our talk on stem cell research. Please welcome our two guest scientists, Camilla and Victoria. Welcome, ladies.
Hi.
Thank you for having us.
It's become human instinct to want to be cleaner, and by doing that, we are oh no, I'm now making up stuff.
All of them? Okay. Did you say go? In front of us. Oh man. Generation was the theory except I can't do
That was great.
Well, in the medical field, doctors and nurses have many health procedures in which they have to complete before beginning any task. Without the germ theory,
I think learning about the germ theory